Yeah, I think it will.
Well, hello, viewers. Thanks for joining us again. If you are a regular viewer or a new one, you are most welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. And
Hello.
we have on this show news of something new.
We
And
do.
it's so new, I'm not even up to date with it yet because Ben's just thought of an idea and
I
he's
haven't
going to
thought of
share
an
it with us.
idea, but we've actually had a letter from one of our younger listeners. Do you want me to
Wow.
read it to you?
Read it out.
Dear Phil and Ben, I really like the show. It makes me happy every time I watch it. I really enjoy looking at Ben's hair. It is fantastic. On my way to work the other day, I was listening to Now 1994, and I'd really like you to go through the whole track listing and find out if Phil remembers any of these songs and what your opinions are on them. Personally, 90% is rubbish. Anyway, let you get on with the show, and I look forward to seeing your next video, especially Ben. He's so funny and very attractive. Your number one listener, Sam Taylor, age 43 and a bit.
Thanks, Sam. That was so
Yeah,
kind of you.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
another
Number one
Sam.
listener. Yeah.
Another number one, another. We've also got Shoegaze Sam. He's one of our number one
Oh,
listeners
is
as
he?
well.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Genuine letter written by a genuine person, and oh, oh, and not by anybody other than myself. So, yeah, basically, Phil, my brother messaged me the other day, and he said, "Guess what I've been listening to?" And my first response back, because he only seems to have two CDs in his car. One is Oasis's "Be Here Now," and the other one is Tupac, "All Eyes on Me." And I obviously guessed those two albums, which were wrong. And he replied back and said, "No, I've been listening to Now 1994." And I was like, "I bet that's full of rubbish." And so I decided I thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at some of these Now albums and go through them and see what your opinions are and see if you remember any of the tracks from 1994. Obviously, because we're talking about our favourite albums of the 90s currently. And I am slightly dark today. I forgot to set my lamp up. So if you're wondering, I'm just lazy and I haven't done the hard graft of preparing myself. So me and my production assistant over here, obviously not paid because he's too young to be paid, we decided on the way back from Stratford upon Avon yesterday, when I picked him up, that we would listen to Now 1994. And all I can say is, it was a sad state of affairs, Philster. I thought it was going to be full of bangers. It does bring me back to my youth, but I know that you are going to have some wonderful things to say about
well,
some of these.
I had Radio 2 on in my car. Yeah, was it yesterday? And somebody requested. I can't remember whose show it was now, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. They did have a segment where listeners can request things, and somebody requested that song "Free from Desire." Do you remember that one?
Free from desire.
Now, when was
Sense
that?
is pure. No, I don't remember that. It was about 97, wasn't it? It was
Okay.
Gala. I'm sure it was Gala, Free from Desire. It's played at most football grounds. I have it on at the mighty Sky Blue Army.
I
If
remember it.
this may not age well, depending on how things go in a week's time, but if Shoegazer is watching, and he will be watching, your guys are gonna take one hell of a beating. That's what I'm going to say on that one.
So "Free from Desire" is played at football grounds. I wasn't too. I remember it from the time. You used to hear
I
it in
think
nightclubs and
I think
bars all
I've
the
got it on
time, didn't you?
CD single.
And I wasn't impressed. I thought this hasn't aged well. I don't think I ever liked it at the time, and I don't. I
What year
still.
did I say?
You said 97.
It
I'm a
was
feeling it's
released in
old.
97 and it
Oh,
was by
okay.
Gala.
Yeah, it's not one I'd want to revisit, but I bet the Now album's full of that kind of thing.
Well, are you
It's
ready?
Okay, so you're going to read me the entire Now album track list.
Well, we can do this over a couple, because obviously it's 4 sides. So, I mean, there's some of this. I'm
I
just
won't
looking at it
remember
now.
most of this. You see, if I think back to 1994, I start to think back on albums that came out that year, and then I'll think,
Well,
it was quite a good year, probably.
well, tell me some albums
And
that
then,
came out that year, and I'll tell you if they appear on here.
but then, well, I'm not saying I can remember all the albums that came out that year, but I would come up with a list of albums, and then I would think, it was quite a good year. But then when you hear what was in the charts, you remember, it was flipping awful. I can't think many albums that did come out in '94, to be honest. What came out in '94? Did the Stone Roses' Second Coming come out in '94? Was that
I
'94?
think,
Or was
was
that
it
'93?
94, 95?
I can't remember. What else came
I
out
think it
in
was
'94?
94.
'94, I have a feeling, I may be wrong about this, I have a feeling that '94 may not have been quite as good as '93.
Well,
But
definitely Maybe came out in 94.
what happened in '94? Was that when Kurt Cobain committed
Killed
suicide? Or
himself, April, yeah.
that was '94?
That was
So,
94 April,
so
yeah.
did that Nirvana Unplugged album come out in '94?
Quite
I think.
possibly, but
Um,
there is no Nirvana on this track listing.
um, I can't think what singles would have been around in '94, apart from a few sort of dancey hip hoppy rap type
Well,
things.
Philster, let me enlighten you on the state of play in 1994. I was a sprightly 15-year-old, probably a little bit musically naive, into my reggae. Can't remember anything else. I did have a lot of love for reggae. I think in 1994, was it 95? I bought Now. I think it's Now 28. Starts off with Wet, Wet, Wet's Love Is All Around, and I'm pretty sure in 94 I bought. Did I? But no, that was 95. I got Bon Jovi Crossroads. So anyway, are you ready for the first track? The first track that Now thought would kick off 1994. Any guesses?
I've no idea. What's the first track on the Now album from '94?
It is the legends that are Shakademus and Pliers with Twist and Shout.
Yeah, I think that wasn't something that ever engaged me. I can't remember it now. It's not a cover of the old Twist and Shout. It's not the old Isley Brothers stroke Beatles Twist and Shout, is it? No, it's
No.
I remember them, but I think maybe I remember them for a different song. But I can't recall it. But I don't think I liked it at the time, so I'm going to say that I still don't like it now.
So you don't like something that you can't remember?
I remember that I didn't like them very much. I found their music I thought it was just all a little bit. I don't know. It was something that I just ignored.
When we were listening to this on the way home, to be fair, I didn't mind Twist and Shout by Shakademus Pliers when it came on. And then the tempo really kind of got slowed down because the next song is Brian and Tony Gold and Red Dragon. And compliments, girl, on your kiss. You're the one with something, which I didn't like then, and I certainly don't like now.
I think I vaguely recall that, and I think that'll have to be a don't like as well.
So so at the moment we're in 100% Phil is not liking. 100% Phil's down. In fact, that looks a little bit like you, Phil. In fact,
it does actually. If you make it a bit bigger, if I get a bit further back and you make it a bit bigger, you could save me a peering bone. You could just.
I could, yeah.
You could
and it will say about as much interesting things as you do anyway.
Exactly. So why don't you just do the videos on your own with the thumb close to the camera next to you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I could do that. Welcome to Ben and Thumb. What's that? All my views are right. All the music I listen to is great. Oh, I like you, Thumb. Anyway, enough of you, Thumb.
The thumb probably thinks the Beatles are better than the Beach Boys as well.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah. What's that? That's a stupid question to ask anybody.
That got a few comments, didn't it? That one.
Yeah. And everybody agreed with me, I think.
Yeah, I was accused of clickbait, which may
Oh,
be
were you?
true.
Well, possibly. There's no harm in that, is there?
No.
So next up, Sweden's finest. Can you think of who
Oh,
it may be?
oh, it's the dance act. Is it? No, is it the ones who did? Is it the ones who did the sign?
It is the
And
sign.
it's Ace of Base.
Yes, and I thought they were Ace of Base. Now on here it's got them spelled Base, but I always thought it was Ace of Bass, as in bass, as like a bass guitar. But I could be
Yeah,
wrong. But yeah, it is Ace of Base. I saw the sign. It opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
it's very catchy. It's got a it's Swedish pop. It's very catchy. It's also it's kind of like there's a hint of ABBA in there, but
There
it,
is,
it would get on your nerves if you heard it too much. Sort of song
and I
that's
do have a.
fun the first time maybe, but maybe
And the problem I have with it is it's on the album quite clear, and I haven't checked any of these. That's the first one I've gone into. But it's on an album called Now That's What I Call Music 1994,
yeah.
and that was released in 1993.
It was released in '93.
Shaka Demus and Pliers, it says here, was released in 1992. So tease me, baby,
Is
till
that
I
the
lose
is that the
control.
Twist and Shout one? No, that's different. That's
Yeah, that's
Tease
Twist
Me.
and Shout. Yeah, and it
That's
says
it's
here
the Tease Me one. Yeah, okay.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
released in 1993 as well. I've got a feeling that now don't know what year things came out.
maybe they don't. They call themselves Now, but they're not very good at the recent past.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
so we've got Ace of Base. You've got nothing to say on Ace of Base.
I'll say it's catchy, but would get on your nerves after a while. It's a bit like you have a you buy a cappuccino and there's froth on the top, and the rest of it's coffee.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was all froth. You might enjoy a little bit of froth at the top, but if the whole thing was froth, it would get on your nerves.
Well, can I
So,
just say, I would
yeah,
probably prefer the froth because I'm not a coffee drinker.
yeah. Well, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but obviously, it's not a very good analogy, really, is it? Ace of Base and a cappuccino. Anyway,
No.
what's the next track?
Next track. What's your favourite day of the week?
Uh, oh, is it The Cure? Is it Friday I'm in Love? Oh, that was a bit
No.
earlier, wasn't it? That was
Yeah,
'92.
no. It's another. I'll give you a clue. Another Scandinavian.
Okay. Oh, it's boing 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 Saturday Night.
It is Saturday Night. Originally released in '92, and then it came to the UK in '94. So
People
that,
loved that. Wasn't that one that was a Mediterranean holiday thing that was played in places in the Med, and then people liked it, and then
yeah. Then it was played at family discos, and it made you really hate family
it
discos.
was people really lots of people loved dancing to that. But
Yeah, putting their
yeah,
hips out, old aunties and grandmas getting up to do Saturday night and then clogging up the NHS with hip replacements on a Monday morning.
yeah, that was pretty dreadful.
It was dreadful.
Wigfield, she was called, wasn't she?
Wigfield. I've just read a little bit about Wigfield here. Wigfield. I didn't realise she was a Italian dance. Wigfield was an Italian dance act fronted by a Danish singer. So
Oh,
she
okay.
wasn't actually called Wigfield.
All right, that makes a bit more sense because it's a bit of a weird name for a girl, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, her name's actually Sanny Charlotte Carlson.
Okay.
She's 53 now, and all I can say is I like the look. She's got a good look going on there. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Wigfield, truly awful, absolutely awful. It just brings back too many memories of rubbish family discos, and people doing the silly dance. Wasn't it the one where you had to? No, that's the Macarena. But you had to do that thing where you had to jump. It's just awful.
There was a sideways jumping, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes, there
Yeah.
was some. There was some sideways jumping. Right, the next track up, track 5. I'll try and give you a clue. It's a disease. The band is a disease, quite a famous disease from the last few years, or a virus. Say.
Well, it's not COVID. It's a bit early for COVID, really. '94, isn't it?
Oh no, I'm getting my I'm getting my diseases mixed up. I'm getting... Take back that last sentence. It's... Do you remember the guy who used to come round and bring you lemonade in his little truck?
Yeah.
Think about that. What was he called?
Whites.
No. He was the Corona man, weren't he?
Oh, the Corona man. Okay,
This is the rhythm of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, night.
That's actually better than any of the ones you've suggested of the tracks so far.
I would say it's better than Wigfield.
I find that as a dancey type record, I don't feel the need to turn that off. I think that's okay.
I would say that's not too bad. So that's getting a bit of a thumbs up from Phil.
Yeah.
Half a thumbs up or a full thumbs
up? It's okay, yeah, it's all right, yeah. So it's okay. Yeah. I don't mind it. You're driving along in the car, you got the radio on, and they play that. It's all right, yeah.
And I can tell that you don't like any of these tracks because you have no facts about any of these tracks.
I don't have any facts about them, apart from there's a sideways jump to Saturday Night.
Yeah. Did you ever do the sideways jump?
I don't think I ever did, no.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I know you haven't got a video on your phone of me doing it.
Well, it just so happens. Next is everybody's favourite 90s boy band.
Well, in this country, the biggest boy band in the 90s would have been Take That, wouldn't it?
Well, technically, E17 sold more records.
Did they actually sell more records than really? Okay.
Yeah, I think E17 sold 17 million and Take That only sold 16 million. I think.
Really?
Obviously, that has now changed.
Yeah.
But it is Take That, and everything changes but you. We're 1,000 miles apart, but I still love you. Everything changes but you.
Is that sung by Robbie Williams? Is he the lead vocalist on that?
I think he is on that song. I'm pretty sure he is the lead vocalist on that one. Let's have a look. Written by Gary Barlow.
Why we're going into this in this much depth, but yeah, let's just check it out, folks.
It was written by Gary Barlow and also by one of our contributors, it seems. It says
is that the one that has a lyric about the taxi cab is waiting?
That's it. Taxi cab is waiting.
That's Robbie Williams singing that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Robbie Williams singing that one. Yeah. It does say here features Robbie Williams on lead vocals, but it does say there because one of our contributors says there Gary Barlow and producers Michael Ward. So it turns out not only is he a contributor, but he was a former Take That producer. It even says at the bottom. We get all sorts on this channel, don't we?
He must be the only one in the world with that name. So
yeah, obviously there's only. Well, he keeps telling me there's only one. So, but yeah, Take That. Everything changes. I think that is not a bad pop song.
It's not a bad pop song. It's okay. Yeah, fine. It's fine. I'll give it a thumbs up because it
went to number one. Sold 200,000 copies in the UK.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. Robin Williams.
And do you know what the B side was? Because I know you.
Oh well, yeah. I'm sure it's on a par with Beatles B sides. Oh, Beatles medley.
Yeah.
I don't suppose they were clever enough to do a Beatles B-sides medley as their B-sides. So they didn't do, Rain and Yes It Is and
Well, you're going to have to listen to it and feedback.
I imagine it's going to be Beatlemania stuff, isn't it? I don't know. We'll have to check it out.
I'm sure they did. We're
going to listen to Take That Beatles medley, folks. That's where we've got to.
Yeah. Right, number 8 on 1994's. Now that's what I call music. And then it should have a little citation at the bottom. It says some of these tracks aren't even from 1994. Next is the biggest boy band of the 90s.
So it's East 17.
It is East 17. And all right, everything's gonna be all right.
Oh, vaguely remember it. Vaguely.
Yeah. It's really all right. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I think I prefer Take That to that.
Do you know what? I actually prefer the E17 one.
Really?
Everything's gonna be alright,
Maybe I haven't heard it.
alright. It's really alright. Makes me want to wear a big hat, beanie hat, and some
Yeah.
ill-fitting jeans.
I suppose it's quite catchy, quite cleverly put together pop record. I suppose it obviously did it get to number 1? Guess it did.
Oh, shall we have a look?
I remember it, but I don't remember I don't remember liking it at the time. I think I was I think I was probably more likely to be mildly irritated by it at the time. But
another one that wasn't released in '94 was released in November '93 as the 6th and last single from their debut album Walthamstow. Let's have a look.
the album was not milked in any way then.
No, it was written by Tony Mortimer. Chart performance. It went to number 3. Number 3 on the UK charts. Did go to number 1 in Australia, France, Ireland, Israel, and Switzerland.
Okay.
So there we go. Did it chart in the US? And it was the 44th biggest selling single of 1993. Which isn't bad since it came. Well, I suppose they would take that data into '94 if it was still selling then. So, but Kim Wilde actually did a version of it on a single with Sleeping Satellite.
This is great to know, Ben. Thanks for that. How far are we into the compilation now?
Well, we'll just do 10 tracks for now.
Okay.
So we've got 2 left from this side. And the next one is by an artist that I'm sure I told my brother that he had died from falling from a hotel window and then forgot to tell him that that wasn't true. And then when I did tell him about 15 years later, he was all taken aback. This artist is still alive. And
Did you mix him up with Chet Baker?
No, well, all I can say is C.J. Lewis is alive and well, people.
Chet Baker actually did die from falling out of a hotel window.
Oh, did he? Well, C.J. Lewis didn't.
Okay. I can't remember C.J. Lewis.
Sweet for my sweet, sugar for my honey.
It was
I
that,
never,
was it?
ever
Cover.
let you go. Can you not remember that?
Vaguely. I think I tended to sort of blot out those 90s covers of 60s songs. So maybe I just didn't bother with it.
I'm just looking at it. He's now 57. He is still alive. So the only thing is, he's called C.J. Lewis, and you would think that his name would be something like Carl James Lewis, but it's actually Stephen James Lewis. So the C makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to me.
Did Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann write the song? I think they did, didn't they? I think it's one of theirs.
It was written by Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann.
Yeah, best known in Britain in the version by the Searchers, which was a cover. I can't remember who did the original American version, but
should we have a look?
Of course, they wrote many songs that were done by
originally recorded by American doo-wop and R&B soul group The Drifters.
Oh, it was the Drifters, yeah, because Pomus and Schumann wrote for the Drifters, wrote for Presley, and all around that era. But
so you do know something about a song?
A lot of great songs. Yeah, only because it's from the 50s, basically. Yeah.
Which is just after you were born, wasn't it? So
yeah.
So C.J. Lewis, for those who are watching, he is alive and possibly making music. Last but not least, I think is possibly from the... I mean, how many tracks are on this thing? Oh, bloody hell. There's 40. No, 39. So out of the 10 that we've done so far, I would say this is rivaling E17 for the top spot. And it is Shine by Aswad. Shine, shine like a star, shining so bright, the star that you are.
These now albums,
reggae.
They come out. These now albums come out every few months, don't they? A couple of times a year. maybe
Yeah,
more.
we're on now 3084,
So
I think, at the
this
moment.
is now 94. This is actually the one that is the compilation of the year 1994. Is
This
this now
is
1994?
this is now 1994, which I think is from all the Now albums from that year
Yeah.
put together. But by the looks of it, it's all the ones from 1993 put into an album, probably released at Christmas for
Yeah.
1994.
Maybe.
British reggae group Aswad. Oh, I really like that. I've got that album. Shine, shine like a star,
It's kind of
shining so bright.
it's
Like
kind of like
Mr.
a more up tempo version of UB40, isn't it?
Yeah, probably a more credible version of UB40 as well.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
they are
not a
more
massive
credible.
UB40 fan.
They're possibly more credible. Yeah, it's still not floating my boat. But then I've got this thing about reggae, haven't I? That's the problem.
Yes, you do.
I've got this thing that I don't really dig reggae very much, I'm afraid. Sorry, reggae fans.
All I can say is the next 10 songs are going to blow your mind.
Can we do them on another show?
Yes.
Thank goodness for that. Thanks, Ben. So,
No worries.
viewers,
No, don't thank me. Thank
the compilers of now.
Sam
Oh,
Taylor.
Sam. Yeah,
Sam
thanks, Sam.
Taylor, age 43 and 4 months, for sending us that letter.
Thanks, Sam. Enjoy the half-term holiday. And, write to us again. But we'll be back with the other half, or whatever it is, of now 1994.
The second quarter.
Ben will put me through some more of that a little bit later on. Thanks for watching. All the best.